are you, sir? Guys, if you got any questions about your truck or whatnot, we'll answer them on here. I hope this is going to give me enough room here. It's hard to do this by yourself, man. 859-355-9002 if you want to give us a call and ask a question today. I probably won't be able to turn the phone on when I get going myself because this daggone thing usually runs pretty fast, but I'll do the best I can on it. So, there we go. Turn that back off. Yeah. 08 Dodge Cummins from Dylan. 08 Dodge Cummins 6.7. When I use exhaust brakes, seems like making a weird noise. Dylan, if it's a noise that you didn't have before, the 07 and 08 trucks were really bad about having some problems with the turbo. So it could be a turbo problem. If you're getting any turbo codes associated with that, that would be another one to look at. So, all right, could very well be a turbo problem. You're just going to want to kind of monitor it, check for turbo codes, and so on. So, I have an 01 Cummins 5-speed K&N intake, fast 150, 5-inch MBRP, comp box, looking to make a good towing daily driver. So my question is, what upgrade should I look into saving up for next? I don't think it says anything about a turbo right there. Really honestly, at the level that you're at, Travis, you probably want to look at a light turbo upgrade without bigger injectors. I would say probably a good 62 mil turbo would be a really, really good thing for you. If you're towing quite a bit, another good upgrade for towing would obviously be a pack brake or a BD brake for your truck and exhaust brake. Airbags, those are a couple of different things that we always like to put on trucks, especially if you're doing quite a bit of towing. So, what would you run turbo-wise on a 2015 Ford 6.7? Twins, big single, etc., drivability in mind. Some of the turbo upgrades that they've got for the Scorpion motor are amazing. There are quite a few out there that have done. I know one of the companies that's really been on the cutting edge of it right now has been H&S Motorsports. H&S Motorsports has got some really nice drop-in kits for the 6.7 that are using Borg SXEs. So drivability, I think that you're going to have a really good upgrade if you go with an upgraded turbocharger from one of those companies. ATS has got one too. If I left anybody out, I'm sorry. So Ryan, that truck's got a single turbo on it. A lot of people get confused and think it's got a dual sequential. So if you didn't think that, sorry about that. No disrespect. So Zach says, any problems with the LML Duramax or anything I need to look out for after 100,000 miles? Just brought one with 80,000 on. I got a 2011 here at the shop. That's our test truck. It's got 80,000 on it. We haven't had any problems out of the truck at all. Change fuel filters and go right on. The CP4's grenading is a big problem. We do a CP3 upgrade that we offer. We offer a couple of kits. We've got one from Industrial. We've got one from Fleece. Any of those would be a good addition to your truck. Really, really go a long way into making the truck reliable for you. The LML, you're not going to have any problems with the motor. The CP4 has been the weakest link so far. 230K on the truck, Joe Martin. I don't remember which one yours question was. Sorry, man, I missed it. Chris McDaniel, have you heard of third gens rattling T-case bolts out due to U-joints or carrier bearings? But imagine truck shop takes C1 check those components. Sound like somebody could. If you have a bad drivetrain vibration, U-joints or something, you've got to address it. We see that a lot. It's the one of the things that you see the most in transfer cases is the inner sleeve vibration from the drivetrain will wear that sleeve out, and you'll have that leak at the transfer case constantly. So, yeah, it's definitely a thing. So, you'll want to make sure that you check. You want to make sure that you always are cognizant of what's going on with your U-joints and stuff because they can cost you a lot of money, man. Russell Carter, 93 Dodge Cummins, HX35, 4K governor spring, Denny fuel pit, maxed out pump, 6-pound valve springs. What kind of horsepower and torque should I be making? Do I need more air or bigger intercooler? VE truck, man, honestly, I'm going to say just looking at what you're saying right there, 300 maybe, hopefully. 300, 325. If I'm wrong there, I don't know. It just really depends on maxed out pump. I would think 300. What the capability of the which HX35 you've got to. Chew put 95, 65 turbo assist for a day or two. It's hard to start. Start the stall, run for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds restart. We had a problem before with it stuttering while driving. Found the fuel cap was bad. Still start after sitting for a day or two. Sounds like you got a leak back there, AJ. I would check around the tank on that because the tank's got the has got the metal top on it, so that could very well be where your air intrusion is coming from. Oh wait, what do I need to check to see if the turbo is bad? Don't know what truck you're talking about there, but we always talk about X, Y, and Z axis. X and Y axis up and down, side to side on turbo. You're going to have some play in there just depending on what kind of turbo that you've got, especially if it's a General Barry turbo. Z axis is in and out on the turbo shaft on the impeller wheel. If you have in and out play, clunk, clunk, quite a bit of it, you probably got a bad turbo for sure. That's a very good question, and usually that's usually what we see. Joe Martin, EFI Live 06 Cummins, 230K on the truck. What should I keep in mind? Mostly for your fuel economy and application. What do you keep in mind there? Drive it like you've got some sense. Any parasitic loss, if you have anything going on transmission-wise, or we're talking about U-joints and whatnot, those are all going to be things that are going to definitely hinder your ability to have good fuel economy, man. So just try the tunes that you have. Try every tune. Don't be afraid of the larger tunes. Try those tunes and see what your truck likes the best and get you best fuel economy for what you do on a day-to-day basis. Brandon, 01 Cummins, built auto, gone through 7 APPS in 3 months, got new ECM, PCM, new alternator, autographs, what else to do. Any ideas? Sounds like you might have a PSG problem on your VP44 pump, Brandon. If you give us a call, we'll be glad to help you try to check that out. If you're having dead pedal, I'd say it's PSG on your VP44, man. Bubba James, 07, hopefully 5.9, looking for a good fuel additive to use all the time. We have our house additive with Thoroughbred diesel, and we also have Standardine here. Both of them are good products. Anything that's going to raise your cetane rating, help you disperse the water, help you with anti-gelling properties or a winter additive is going to be a good thing for you. Brad O'Sell, 012 or 12 Super Duty, system contamination, need to redo. Any other suggestions while we were in there? Cold air delete, cooler, etc. Do you suggest adding additional fuel filter for better filtering? Got some farm diesel contamination. Thanks. Brad, that's an odd one. I'd like to know if your contamination was water, if you just got rust in the system, what makes you think that you had contamination. They have, Diesel Site has a external fuel filter that's an additional filter that's really good. Make sure that you're very militant about changing your fuel filters. These trucks are expensive, so you want to make sure that you use the cheap insurance of changing your fuel filters. Chris McDaniel, no bad vibration on a 6-hour ride according to him. He said tech did say those checked out. That's weird, man. That's weird. If the previous owner did something with the transfer case and he, maybe he doesn't Loctite a bolt on there or something, I just don't know. No dead pedal, just keep getting a PO122 low voltage code. Oh, on your APPS. So if you're Brandon, if you're checking that out on TroubleTree, and if you're checking that out on TroubleTree and you keep coming up to that, I'd like to know what your voltage is that you're actually seeing on the APPS to be able to throw that. If it keeps throwing a 122 code and you put APPSs in it, you've gone through the TroubleTree of what the code is for the 122 code, and you've determined that you've got all your voltages and everything right, then more than likely you've probably got an ECM problem. So it's just something to think about. And I'm sure that at the end of the TroubleTree on the 122, it'll tell you replace ECM. So we get that quite a bit. Let's make sure I got everybody's questions done. The guy that said about the 230K on the truck, Joe Martin. Oh, when the EFI Live 06 comes, most for a cube, got 230K. Yes. Joe, and what kind of transmission you've got? If it's a standard shift, what kind of clutch that you've got in there? Automatic transmission. Make sure that if you have a bone stock transmission, that you drive the truck accordingly, unless you're ready to make transmission upgrades. Russell Carter, I'd like to make 350 horsepower on my 93 Cummins. What else could I do? Thanks. I think, Russell, you had the earlier question. I think you're probably close to being there, man, really honestly. With your size of injectors, the problem with the VE pumps is you're just not able to get the timing in it that you're really wanting to get to be able to get a huge horsepower number. If you do 300 horsepower on a VE pump with just bigger sticks and an HX35 turbo, really honestly, you've done a good job on your upgrades there. Thor Burnside, I have a 93 Cummins with fueling upgrades and I'm about to upgrade the turbo. What boost pressure should I start worrying about doing head studs? Well, those trucks, honestly, you'll probably want to put head studs in it, honestly, right out of the gate. The way the 12 valves are, it's just the nature of the beast. You're going to have the expansion and contraction of the head, so the head bolts aren't going to be able to hold it anyway. Those turbos are not very efficient as far as moving air on the drive side of it, so you're going to have gasket failures. My suggestion to you is if you're worried about it now, just go ahead and drop them in there, man. Got a new ECM and a PCM that are less than a month old. Brandon, if you tell me everything you've done to the truck, man, I'll try to keep helping you. I didn't know that you've done ECM, PCM, so I don't know if you got an ECM out of a junkyard or PCM out of a junkyard. That wouldn't have anything to do with it to keep running the 122 code. What are your voltages in, and what are your voltages in? If everything's checking out, it keeps on a 122, and you keep getting bad APPSs, there's got to be something that's causing it. You may have something else going on in the 5-volt reference side of that as well. You may have something completely unrelated to the APPS that could be on your 5-volt reference chain that could be giving you problems, Brandon. You're welcome to give me a call, man. I'll try to help you with anything I can. Is the Smarty SO3 really worth $649, and why? I have an 01 Cummins. JJ, that's a good question. The SO3 is an excellent tuner, and the ability that it gives you to manipulate a few of the fueling characteristics of the VP44 truck, because it's knuckle dragging Neanderthal fuel injection. It really is. It is knuckle damn dragging shit. So the good thing about the SO3 is you're able to go in and you're able to do minor adjustments in timing, minor adjustments in duration, all the things that go into being able to give you better drivability of your truck. Now, if you think you're going to buy an SO3 Smarty and be able to run 500 horsepower out of the truck on a stock turbo, that's not going to happen. But it is going to give you a lot more adjustability than just a normal everyday tuner does. So yes, to me, is it worth $649? It is. Because I like to be able to have that type of adjustability to give myself a better daily driver. Of course, I'm also 41 years old and I don't like a bunch of crap in driving. So. Hello Nathan, I see you over there, buddy. Call me about my daggone drain tube. Tyler Montgomery, he just joined. Tyler, he's our Thoroughbred Trucks manager. Good dude. He's single, ladies, so if you're watching this and you're looking for a good guy, Tyler's open. You can send friend requests on Facebook. Nobody sent Hunter any friend requests on Facebook. Hunter's single too. They work in the same office. There you go. JJ. Yes, sir. What would be the best twin system for my 6.4 Powerstroke upgrade? I want big power. Ethan, you can do big power on a single upgrade as well. If you're wanting twins, it's going to cost. It's going to take some fabrication on your setup. Most guys are setting them up for big singles right now. The 6.4, the displacement of the 6.4 really just lends itself into a big single setup. There's some really good stuff out there from H&S Motorsports and some other companies that we've got. I would definitely look at doing a big single if you're wanting to make big power on that truck. It's not something that I would just write off because you want to stay in twins. If you're wanting that instantaneous throttle that you're getting in the dual sequential setup already on 6.4, then it's going to be different. All righty. See, Adam's upstairs and helping us with the call-in show today. There's Hunter Mays' thing, and you can, Adam, why don't you go ahead and put Tyler Montgomery's thing on there too, so they can send him a friend request. Ethan Ayers, because I do have a Minimax 5-inch turbo back in S&B. I check out the H&S Motorsports single kits, man. You'll love it. I promise you, you'll really love it. You're going to have a tuning upgrade if you do a single drop in on that truck, Ethan. So keep that in mind as well. There's Cade Sidwell. Cade Sidwell, he's got cankles, so those if nobody's seen Cankle since you've got Hillary Clinton hasn't been on the TV here in a little while. You can join up with Kate, and Kate he'll get you some pictures of his Cankles. There's Coomer. Hello, Coomer. Good to see you. See y'all at Judge Day. Yes, sir, Ethan. I will be there. I'll be the guy standing by the dyno, and I'll probably be tired. So we usually talk about Q&A. We usually talk about what do we do on training on Thursdays. Here on Thursdays, we always have a sales team training. So today we pretty much we pretty much went over the pulling truck stuff. Best twin setup for towing 0759 Cummins. Steven, there's tons and tons of different setups out there for the 5.9s. Anything with over a 62 millimeter. If you're not looking for huge horsepower, if you're looking for awesome drivability, anything with like S400 frame turbo over top of a 62 is going to be really snappy on the throttle. It's going to be great. I've got a lot of different companies offer them, ATS, BD, so on and so forth. So we offer a ton. Charlie Cough, buddy of mine keeps losing bearings on his turbo 2nd gen 12 valve. Any idea what's going on? Charlie, I don't know what he's putting back in there, but it sounds like he's probably got an oil contamination issue. Have him take the oil out of the truck, send it in, get an oil sample done, and then we can go from there, man. I'll help you with anything I can. JJ got another question. JJ, I missed you. Got another question. I'm about to order a 24-month VP and Fast LP. What do you recommend? 95, 150 gallon per hour. That gives you room to grow, man. Just go ahead and do the 150. It's not going to hurt a thing. Best tune for 2012 LML Duramax. I would say EFI Live. Any of the tuners that we offer out there are great, so you're not going to go wrong with any of them. What are some pros and cons of doing a 2nd gen turbo manifold swap for an 05 Dodge? 2nd gen manifold swap, you're going to put the turbo in a bit easier accessible. Its orientation on the engine is actually going to lend itself better for spool up. It's going to get the heat off the back of the engine. There's a lot of different things that you can do there, Seth, as far as the 2nd gen. The one thing I like about it is the faster spool up and access to the turbo. Kate Sidwell, what do you do with unused chins? Asking for a friend. I just kind of let mine flow. Stephen Collins, could you possibly build some parts for a Mercedes? I have an OM 606 that I'm building, and it would be nice to team up with someone to help it make it unique. Stephen, I appreciate the offer. I wouldn't be the guy to help you with that. I don't think Thoroughbred would either. We offer some stuff for the Mercedes diesels, but it's really not our strong suit. If you want to give me a call, man, I've actually got some ideas on that I might be able to help you with. Chris Goodlett joined. Hello, Mr. Goodlett. I never did hear from your guy about the clutch. He never did call me, buddy, so didn't hear from him. Yeah, what is it? 323. So, what's everybody got in the Mayweather Conor fight? I'd like to know what everybody thinks on that. Hello, sir. Brad, water contamination on that 6.7, lost pressure on high side truck shut down, need to replace complete fuel system, lines, filters, and do you offer a rebuild kit? I can help you with all the components of that. Brad, I don't have everything in one shot, but I can help you with the individual components, injector, and the high pressure pump. So that's absolutely something that I can do. Give us a call, man. We'll be glad to help you. Greg Reed, he's one of our new sales guys. He's up front. He's jacking around on Facebook, which is good because he's not on a tattoo website, so good for him. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Seth Romer, what size turbo for towing? Thank you, sir. Seth, you're welcome. It just depends on what kind of truck that you're looking at and what kind of truck that you've got. Good towing turbo usually falls in line with a turbo that's going to have somewhere between a sweet spot of super quick spool up, which is, let's say, like a 60 or 58, 59, 60 millimeter turbo. Those aren't very good for towing. You get up to a 62 millimeter turbo, not as quick a turbo spool up, but a lot better on top end than a smaller turbo. So you want to get a kind of a good combination with both. There's tons of research that you can do out there on turbos, man, to be able to make a good purchase for your truck. Myself, I'm conscious of EGTs when I drive, so I really try to look at a turbo that's going to have good spool up, and I'm not as concerned with the top end power or the EGTs, which is definitely should be a concern for everybody else, because for me, I'm not in that big a hurry. When I go somewhere, I'll drop in fourth gear and run it on high RPMs. System of a week CP3 on an 02 LB7. Brad, you're very welcome. Michael, what are you having going on? Are you having a hard start going on? If you're having a hard start, Usually with the CP3s and the Duramaxes, what we find, and this is outside of LLYs and up, LB7s, usually if you have a CP3 problem, it'll usually just damn die on you. Now, it can have scored barrels. It could have scored barrels and plungers in it. Could lose a little bit of rail pressure. You'd want to look for that. But if you're having a hard start, I would start on the injector side. Let's start with checking the injector balance rates and see how they are at an idle, and then kind of attack it from there going forward. Trev Bird joined. Hello, Trev. Hello, Jordan Johns Way. What's a 2-cylinder John Deere survive? Looking to maybe mow the yard, plant a few fuel plots with that beast. I would go with the B series. I think the B with the hand start wheel, just get your damn hand out of the way when that thing flips over, man. Good question, Mr. Maines. Thanks for coming on. Joe Battaglia. Mr. Battaglia, I don't know if you know any of the Battaglias that do horse racing stuff, but I usually bet on the Battaglias whenever they're telling me. So if you're a family with them, thank you for the money that I've made off of you. Appreciate that. Is Sinister's full EGR delete seem to be dependable? Is there better for an LMM? Sinister makes amazing stuff. Very, very good stuff. They take a lot of pride in what they do and their machine work, which is awesome. I definitely suggest Sinister. You're not going to go wrong. Russell Carter got another question. My dad has a 92 Cummins and he keeps losing turbo. What could be the problem? Maybe an oiling problem. Could be an oiling problem. If he's getting good oiling, I would take your oil sample down and have the oil sample looked at. You could have contamination in the oil. I'd say it's probably what you got. Jonathan Colby Daly said, I've got an 05 Cummins, got a slight tick at idle. When driving the truck at acceleration, it makes a click ticking sound, but building boost, it goes away, then comes back. What could it be? Valve adjustment, maybe. Truck runs fine. Jonathan, the bad thing about that year truck is you're probably more than likely, if you're noticing that tick and it's more prevalent those times, more than likely you've probably got an injector problem. What do you want to do here? You can pull the injectors out, send them off, have them tested. At the time when you send the injectors off and have them tested, I would go ahead and do a compression test on the truck. If the truck's got a ton of miles on it, here's what my suggestion would be on that. Go ahead and pull the injectors out, put new injectors in it, keep driving the truck, do a compression test while you're up here. That sounds like an extreme, but I'm just telling you, the 03 to 07 5.9s, I promise you 505 injectors, 503 injectors, you're probably more apt to be having an injector problem, and it will cost you an engine. Does anyone make tuning for Kubota small tractor? No, Sir Stephen, I don't think they do. I don't know of any of the pressure boxes that we have that is good for a Kubota. But if I'm wrong there, somebody let me know. Joe Battaglia, you're very welcome, sir. James Gillian, and I'm sorry if I messed up your last name, buddy. 99736 Powerstroke. When is it? When it's in 140, which is not often. It shifts really hard and bucks the truck. People tell me, oh, it might be plugged somewhere. The 140 tune on the TS chips is too much oil for a stock oil pump. Don't worry about it, man. Running 100 horsepower. Forget you've even got the 142 and go right on the 140 tune and go on down the road. 2010 Dodge 6.7 on startup. Get a big RPM jump like it's stumbling air and fuel. Maybe bleed back. Only after getting set another night. No other problem. That's weird. The big RPM jump and then stumble, more than likely, you probably got an injector that's probably giving you trouble, Eric. You're going to want to check that out, man. You're definitely going to want to check that out. Raise in RPMs on a common rail is usually going to be a bad control valve in the injector, so watch for that. 2015 Ram comes with the Edge CTS and attitude. Any idea what is causing horrible turbo lag? I hit the gas and it takes forever to get up and get going. I have around 18K miles on it. Chad, without driving the truck, man, it's hard for me to say. I think with the juice, with the attitudes, I'm pretty sure on the new trucks you can still adjust low boost fueling. You might add a little bit of low boost fueling to it, but man, honestly, that's probably going to shorten the life of your DPF, so you're going to want to watch that. Yeah, you might want to look, Chad, you might want to think about maybe going into more of a custom tuning side, an EFI Live or Easy Link, if that's something of that nature, where we can, kind of tune something in for you to be able to get around that. Don't think you've got anything mechanical wrong with the truck, maybe just not the correct setup. I have 05 6.0 Zachary LaFille. Sorry if I messed your name up. I was driving up to Indiana and it lost all power, shut off, and came back on. The wait start light came on and the ABS light came on, but it kept running after the training shifted really weird. Any ideas? Zach, I don't know. That's an odd one. It could have been a whole lot of different stuff. I would check my Fickham voltage first off, your lift pump pressure. Those are the things that you're kind of going to want to key on there. The wait to start light is an odd one. I hope another 6.0 guy jumps in here and tells me what is going on there. It could have been a lot of different things, man, honestly. Jonathan Colby Daly. Jonathan, I forgot what your thing was. If I say 150,000 miles. So no, I would probably go ahead and invest in having the injectors checked, man. But if you've had water run through the injectors, probably good idea. Probably a good idea to go ahead and replace them anyway. Tonight is the day, Tyler. You're exactly right. James Gillian, would a HPOP help with this problem, Luke? Yes, absolutely. And I'm sorry, Jamie, I should have said that to you. Adrenaline pump is going to be able to get you on top of what is commanded in that tune. Truck will run 100% better. You will love it. Gregory, how do I get my 6.5 to 1,000 horsepower? How do you get a 6.5 to 1,000 horsepower? Well, Greg, that's a really good question. I'm glad that you asked that, man. You can take a 6.5 block. You can put a different piston setup in it. You can put it on an inline 8-cylinder injection pump. You could get a good tractor injector, a good John Deere injector that's just going to allow you to mount all the fuel into the cylinders. You shove every damn bit of fuel that you can possibly get into it and pray to God that the crank holds up. That's how you're going to get to 1,000 horsepower. Shove all the nitrous in it, man. But, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally a doable thing. Totally a doable thing. If you get your 6.5 to 1,000 horsepower, bring it to the shop. We'd love to see it. Hopefully you'll make it to Dyno Day. Blake Clausen, do an EGR delete on a 2011 Duramax. Oh, Adam's calling me. Hold on, I'll be right back, Blake. Hello, Adam. Yeah. Oh, is it time? I gotta go. Bye. All right, so Blake Claus, I'm going to do these last two. Jamie, I'm going to finish up with yours. Blake, do an EGR delete on 2011 Duramax going to buy my up-pipes. Do you still need to buy an EGR delete kit? Yes. Yes, you do, Blake. Nick, LBZ LMM benefits of bigger VGT turbos compared to swapping over to a single S300 fixed fan. The difference between the way an LB, or the difference between a way a VGT turbo acts as far as what it does. The 300 series turbos are going to have super quick spool up too, just going to be a little bit cleaner and one less mechanical thing that you got to worry about. You don't have to tune around. Thanks, sir. Jamie, you're very welcome. Guys, I got to go. Blake, you're very welcome. Everybody have a good weekend. Be safe. Keep your gowns down. And I guess I got to tell them bye, Wade. So, bye, Wade.